So the elements of state diagram includes, of course, the set of states, right, which appear as a bubble in a state diagram. Each state represents a specific stage in the life cycle of our object. The set of events, as we use these events as labels here, and of course we also had a description for these states right here. So the set of events events represent some incidents, information that something specific has happened. And again, it's just typically we will provide a set of operations inside our class which can be called, which may be causing state transitions and indicate specific events. So that's how these events are delivered to the class. And state transitions, of course, specifying the new state of the object. So when we detect a specific event, we just decide that we need to transition to a specific state. And finally, there are also actions. So actions are basically expanded. Just event is typically what happened, but the reaction of an object is also a set of actions. Part of it is transition to a new state, but also a set of actions may specify additional activity that is taking place as the object transitions to a new state. So the type of states actually what we call or what we try to show here is that these are states, and they're generally referred to here as other states. But there's also initial state or scenario start state or creation state, and it's just indicated by this single dot. So normally, if we want to make it a little bit more descriptive in terms of the diagram, we can just place the state, which just appears like this large dot. And if I add an event or action to it like this, okay, so I can add this label. This diagram really becomes very crowded, so I'll just try to make a little bit more space for my demonstration. And so right here I may indicate on this state transition that object created. Right, so we and that means that sometimes the object constructor, the constructor of our class, decides to place an object in a specific state. Right, so from the very creation event of our object, we want to place our object in a specific well-recognizable state. So that's called the creation state or initial state, also known as pseudostate, initial pseudostate. Okay, so there's also a final state. So here, when we're exiting the building, there could be two possibilities. We may actually destroy this object because we just decide that we want to free up memory. Or if it takes significant effort to construct this object, we may want to spare time constructing it the next time if we want to recycle this object again. So we just can keep it dormant somewhere. Basically, we can place this object somewhere in a collection of inactive objects. But in the diagram, because it's just basically high-level design, we would want to use this exit state or final state. And again, we'll add this transition right here. So here we may also want to indicate what happens to the object when it goes to this dormant state. So we can say that object is destroyed. Okay, so that's a possibility, that our object is basically destroyed, and then of course the memory is freed when we go into this exit state. So these are important to also add to our state diagrams, because they just put us right in the position to understand what is the first valid state that we're trying to use within this object, and then its life cycle through the rest of the states begins from this point on. And here we also indicate what happens at the end of its life cycle. So if we want to, we can have this exit state or ending state or final state using this type of notation.